I hope that this internet stuff is working today. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. This is Carmen with Elemental Designs. Super excited to be here with you guys this morning, and happy Valentine's Day, because yes, it is Valentine's Day. Whoop whoop. The day that love is in the air. So they say. All right, let me pick these up real quick. Actually, this is a little tight. So, hello, everybody, and welcome back. Hey, Tanya, how are you, love? How you doing? So I've been very busy. That song's being mean. Let me put some papers in this printer real quick so I can print out some large ones, because I didn't print out any large ones. I'm going to print out only a few, though. I got that song on the phone, being as nice as ever. All right. So how's everybody? Yes, I did some prints, some digitals, some new ones. Let me just hit my little live thing here. I did some new ones. So we're not going to be working on any paper crafting today. I'm actually going to do a project. I got a clipboard out. So we're going to be doing some mixed media today. I got a clipboard that I'm going to be altering somehow, some way. We'll figure that part out. That's why I have this paper here, because I'm going to cover it up. But I wanted to share with you guys what the prints are. I'm just going to allow people to kind of start coming into the room before I start sharing it a couple more times. What I am going to do is I'm going to print myself out some large ones, because I didn't do that. Yeah, I got Sasson on the phone. He's working early today. There goes my phone. That's probably him. Tanya says hi. Sasson says, yeah. He might not be here physically, but he's here in spirit. He's here in spirit. Oh my goodness. So let me just print out some large ones real quick. Let me see which ones I print out. Clear this thing out. I'm gonna be here with you guys for a while this morning, because I might as well. He ain't here. So I'm just gonna chill with you guys for a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and print out like 2 or 3 of these really tall full-size pages, so that you guys can kind of see what I've really been up to here. So I'm gonna print like 2 or 3 of them. So just give me a second. If I don't reply to your comment, it's because I'm not really seeing it right now. Just give me one moment so I can pick out these prints really quickly. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna just print out these 3. So I do apologize if there's background noise. I know. I know, me and the randomness. You guys are about to hear my printer going off. And I put a notification on my Instagram yesterday, and I put a notification on my community page that I was gonna go live today. I was supposed to start at 9. I just didn't do a thing, the actual notification. So that's probably why nobody's bells rang. Because of that. So I'm gonna get into this just in case anybody else is gonna be watching this later on. So I did some prints. I did some Alice in Wonderland inspired prints here. Some digital papers. This kit is gonna be available for purchase during this live immediately after. As soon as I pretty much start getting the orders in, I'll start releasing them. Now I did print them out small because I'm gonna be making some ephemeras with these, but you can print them out in the large scale, which is what I'm doing now on paper, so that you guys can more or less see the quality of it. But you can also do them in small. My last paper pack, I did 10 prints for a certain amount. This one I'm gonna do the whole entire thing because there are some styles that they're a little similar to each other, so I figured I'll just do the whole thing in one shot. They're all different, but they do have some similarities. I mean, again, at the end of the day, they are part of a kit, so they are gonna have some similarities with them. He hung up? No, he didn't. They're gonna have some similarities to them, but overall, hopefully you guys will be able to see all the yumminess that's in this, because there's a lot of yumminess happening in these papers, let me tell you. I'm having oodles and oodles of fun creating them and also getting inspired by them and things to create with and stuff like that. Also super excited for the hop. The first video for the hop is this Sunday. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So you guys make sure that you tune in this Sunday for Love is in the Air, as well as Medals in Love YouTube hop, which is hosted by myself as well as Isabel Labori. Yes, I know. So super, super cool. And I cannot wait to share with you guys my first project. Um, and so let me get into some of these prints. So we have the first one. And I think I'm going to use the clipboard because I might as well. So let me just clip some paper on here so that I can get rid of that yellow background. So I can kind of put this on in here, so you guys can kind of see what they are against the white background, and hopefully you guys can see the papers and the style. Let me try to bring it down so that you guys can actually see this whole thing. I'm trying to put it in focus with the camera so that I know how far I have to hold it out. But yes, super, super cute. This is the scene with the caterpillar who's smoking the hookah. He's the original OG. And so what we have here, this whole set is based on like watercolor and things like that. So you're gonna see a lot of watercolor effects. You're gonna see like paint splatters. Um, I tried to blend in a little bit of that into this one. So it's gonna be the colors that I focus on were like a wine red, like a burgundy almost. Black, white. I also use some blues in here. So that's you mean hookah? Yeah, hookah. Listen, my Boston accent sometimes gets in the way because I've been told that I have a Boston accent even though I've never been to Boston. My daughter's always telling me that, Mommy, you sound like you're from Boston. I'm not from Boston. I'm from New York. So it has a lot of yumminess to this. There's some florals in here. There's paint splatters. And again, this is just the mini version because, hey, Monica, you can print them in any size that you want. The sizing is completely up to you. You don't have to print full sheets if you don't want to print full sheets. If you're working on, let's say, an album that is smaller, like 6x6, as long as it fits in the dimensions of an 8.5 and 11, you can print them any size. So for this one, it was 4 per sheet. So 4 of this size fit on an 8.5 by 11. So you can make them as big or as small as you want. These are 4.25 by 5.5. So gonna let the full sheets print out. So you can print them in any size that you want. Hookah. I didn't Tanya, you're adding the ER in there. I said hookah, hookah, with an H at the end. I didn't even add an R. So back to this. So we have this black, I have a white background on here with some black florals and again some watercolor effects, some paint drippings. Super pretty. I think it came out really, really nice and very true to my nature as far as, you know, the mixed media aesthetic, even though it's not really mixed media, but the illusion of mixed media um in the paper as well. So that's one. I remember there's 21, there's well, I didn't say that. There's 21 prints, 21 designs in this paper pack. And all the information is down below as well as the link for my PayPal. Now I don't have the store set up just yet, you guys, because I do want to, you know, I'm gonna get the kits as I do them. I'm gonna get them out, and when I have enough of them that I can say, okay, it's time for me to set up a store, then I'll set up a store and I'll put them in a store, and I'll do like a huge, you know, thing whenever that is. I don't know. Don't quote me. Uh, so this is another one again with the black and the white kind of feel and theme. Oh, I don't need to click them. This one, again with the watercolor and the paint splatters, um, a little bit of florals, not really florals, but like a little bit of grass here and there, what looks like grass. We have a little bit of music notes on this one. And these you can definitely distress in any color that you want. And also remember, you guys, when you set your printer settings, you also have the option of printing in black and white or Sophia. If you have programs that are, you know, that work with your printer for, like, you know, editing your photos and stuff like that, then you can you can change you know, the hue to, like, you know, grayscale, like I said, Sophia, or you can print them as they are. You can also change the size to whatever size you want. You can custom size them, but they fit obviously on an 8.5 by 11 because we don't have a printer that prints out 12 by 12. So however, they are created on a 12 by 12 scale, so they're, you know, they're very pigmented, high quality, or HD, I should say. So they got a really good quality to them. Um, the only variable here is your printer. That's the only variable here. You know, some printers print a little bit more exquisite than others. It all depends on your printer specifically. So, so that's the next one. This one is really, really pretty. I love this one. And again, all watercolor effects. That's a recurring theme on here. So watercolor effects. What might change are some of the other little graphics that I added here and there. Oh, nice. I got an HP too. I love my HP. I got a Photo Smart. It's old as heck. It's almost as old as my kids are. I'm about to make it a cake and light a birthday candle for it because it's old. As old as my kids are. But it's still kicking. So I'm happy with it still. So on this one here, we have a little bit of branching happening with some little birds on the branches. I added some little black doilies here on the side. Super, super pretty lace doilies here. And again, with the watercolor theme. Now you can distress this. You can go into this and add more color if you wish. I mean, you can totally mix media. I have an Epson too. I don't like my Epson too much. I only use my Epson for scanning. I don't like my Epson too much at all. But it depends because the one that I have is the NX105 or something like that. So I think it's more of a budget printer if I'm not mistaken. But it's not really that. I don't know. Maybe it's just user error because some people can get really pretty prints. I'm happy with my other one. My other one works without me having to do nothing to it. So this is another one here. And here we have two different kinds of reds. We have one that's a little bit more burgundy and one that's a little bit more bright. Again, with the watercolor in the background. I added a few little, you know, graphics here and there. We have some florals happening around the borders. I incorporated this really pretty kind of like an ornate frame here in the back. You can see that. Or you can. I need to figure out what kind of printer that is because I need me one of those. Also, you could print little ones like this. Oh. I'm gonna have to look for that. I didn't even know that they made 12 by 12 printers that printed out 12 by 12. This is news to me. I'm glad I woke up today. So this one here, and I have two different ones for this one. I have it's very similar, just I added the splashes, and this is why I kind of included all of them, because I'm like, you might want one with and you might want one without. You know, you can use one for an embellishment, and you can use one actually for your page backing, your background, or whatever the case may be. So it depends. So this one's it looks crazy, but this is paint drippings. This is watercolor drippings here, and we have some black little paint dribbles on the side. We have a little bit of font, kind of like a song, some lyrics of a song that are not Alice in Wonderland. It's not an Alice in Wonderland song, but I thought it kind of went with the theme because she's kind of like looking through this. So it's almost like, hey, you know, is she listening to some music? Is that what she's following? my imagination kind of went off a little bit with that one. But this was one of the more plainer ones. And then I got the same, again, the same style, but without the dribble, without the paint dribble on it. And remember, you can print the ones that you want. So you don't have to print them all out. You can print the ones that you want. I think that these would be perfect for, let's say, a junk journal or something like that, because you have 21 prints. That's 21 pages that you can, you know, pretty much fill in, you know, add to your book, which I think is pretty good. This one right here. This one has, it's in watercolor, but it also has like lined paper in the background as part of the background, like vintage lined paper. And then I went ahead and added a whole bunch of different size doilies, different style doilies all over this. So I think this one came out really cool too. I'm telling you guys, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast, and I'm learning as I'm doing it and learning more. So I'm definitely working on other digital projects as well. So there's gonna be some more stuff coming out really soon. So for this one, we have some florals here happening in the corners. We got some florals here. We also have some different kinds of floral stamping happening here. Again, I added the little ornate frame on the side. We have some brick wall here. I left some clear areas in case you wanted to add your own, you know, distress or any kind of color that you might like. So that's that one. So a lot of interesting prints. You can do a project just with one, or you can use all of them and incorporate them into your stuff. Yeah, right? It's got a crack on the wall as well, and cracks in the wall here. Like, I try to give my little mixed media, you know, my little mixed media inspired spin on them. Hopefully I did pretty good. I love them. I mean, I love anything that's Alice in Wonderland, period, but well, I'm learning. I'm how do I say it? I'm growing a whole new love for it, because paper was never really my thing to begin with. But with doing these digital things, I'm like, I'm kind of liking this because I get to do my own style. So sometimes, you know, like you'll buy the paper pads and they're awesome. You know, I have a few here, so you know they're definitely awesome, but all the papers in the paper pad you never really like. Like, you always end up liking. It's really rare when you like 70% of a paper pad. Usually you'll end up liking a few of the sheets, but you don't always like all of the sheets. It's really, really rare when you like all of the sheets. Um, look, Tanya, this is the one with the red brick in full size. So I print this borderless, but you can print it with your border. Again, you can size up your pages however you want. You just have to go into your settings and figure out how your specific printer works. Yes, I am all the way. I'm a mixed media girl all the way. Okay. So even when I'm doing something like this, it has to reflect that mixed media in me because, you know, I can't tone it out. Yes. So this is the big scale of what this one is. This isn't small, obviously. But as you can see, it didn't lose any of its quality. It still looks really, really good, even when you're printing it out as a full sheet. I'm like buckling over here. Even when you print it out as a full sheet, it doesn't lose any of its quality. You can see the perfect detail of the roses that are coming out, which are really, really ornate. You know, you can see all of the little things that I added in here. Yes, please do. Please do. Much appreciated. All right. So I printed out 3 in total. And I'm gonna make this clipboard. I'm gonna use one of these small prints to do like a mixed media clipboard. Oh, she is. Ooh, that's something that I'm working on too. So maybe you'll like the next one more than you'll like these. Because I love me my dark colors as well, let me tell you. I've done quite a few black canvases. Tanya will tell you. A lot of them are in people's homes right now because I don't give it all my stuff, all my art stuff away. But yes. All right. So that's those. This is the next one. Did I do this one in big? Yep, I did. So I'll show you the little one real quick. And again, paint splatters, kind of like this dreamy type of state is what I try to create with this. It does have some brick in here. We have she's playing with the cat on the chair, but she's also thinking about the cat playing ball. So this is like the prequel, what happened before she went down the rabbit hole. So we have some paint splatters. And some of the brick walls, some watercolors happening here, some dark blues, some light blues, a little bit of pink, nothing too major. The pink is kind of like right here and right here. You don't see it too much. This is the big one. So you can see kind of how that comes out. And again, you can print these in any size that you want. You can even make them really, 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 really small. Yes, you do have quite a few. You do have quite a few, Tanya. But my stuff, I think, is spread out all over YouTube. So this is what the little one looks like, and again, this is what the big one looks like. You could totally make a pocket on something like, say, if you was working on like some kind of you know, print for your journals. I think this would totally work. So again, that's me printing 4 per page. So, and borderless as well. So borderless and 4 per page. Although I do have to switch that every time because the Cricut doesn't work well with the borderless aspect of it. So we have that one. We have this one right here, which is the actual like intro page, if you will. It has a little snippet from the first chapter, Down the Rabbit Hole, which is why I called this collection Down the Rabbit Hole. Yes. And I have yours right here next to me right now. So this one I focused mainly on the roses are red, gotta paint the roses red. And again, with this whole idea of, you know, this demanding queen is mostly why I did like watercolors for the theme and stuff like that. Because the, you know, part of the whole situation is the dang roses ain't red. And she wants the red. So I added some red roses in here that look more like a wineish kind of color, but that's more or less the color that I chose. I chose a really, really deep kind of red. I didn't want it to be like, you know, strawberry red. I wanted it to be like a deep wine, burgundy-ish kind of red. So that's the kind of red that I used on here. And then we have some watercolor. We also have some other little whatchamacallit, little things that I added here and there. The little honeycomb, the what is it, bird wire, chicken wire, the little chicken wire textured areas here as well. And we have some roses coming down the side and going across, and that's more or less what this one looks like. Now with this one, I went a little bit more vintagey on the feel, and I have two of these, two different styles. This one's the clean version. And again, the Mad Hatter dunking the little piggy inside of the tea. So what I did with this one is I added a whole bunch of teacups all over the page, everywhere. I added a whole bunch of teacups everywhere. And I also added some script here and there in really light gray. So it's really light. You can see it, but you know, when you look at it. And then this one, I grunged it up just a little bit. So it's the same thing. The only difference with this one is that this one has like these little burnt markings, like it's been aged or somebody was playing with fire. But they're more or less the same except for that. And I think with this one, you still have room to add some other of your own personal little touches. Like you can still add stamping. You can still do things to this one. And to this one as well. I mean, you can definitely add a little bit more and take them to the next level. Let's see. Now I have this one. This one's just plain black and white. I think this is the same one. It's a similar one to this one right here. Did I do this one? Nope, I didn't. So this is a black and white. This one has reds and it has some of the paint splatters. This one's just black and white. This one you can definitely add more color to. You can, or you can leave it like that. I think it looks really cool like that. My daughter was even telling me like, Mom, that would look so cool like on a shirt and stuff. So she likes the abstract type of look. So we have two of these. And again, it all depends on the kind of book that you're doing or the kind of project that you're working on. I'd like to think that these papers that I'm making lend themselves to be used pretty much in all different kinds of either crafting or, you know, artistry, if you will. Yes, the hookah. Oh my goodness. Let's see. And this one, it's the other one too. This one. So on some of them I spruced them up. Some of them I left them as it is. This one is just, you know, without all of the paint splatters. Mainly the paint splatters is I added extra to this one, but it's the same thing. It's just minus the paint splatters on it. So that's that one. I printed two of these. These are the same. Nope, these are not the same. I just printed doubles. Okay. So we have this one. And this one I incorporated the little bottles here. Kind of like she's going into somebody's medicine cabinet. Little sneaky, sneaky girl. And she's trying to get in the door, but she can't. And then she sees that there's some bottles there. So she's like, I wonder. So again, some florals, a lot of watercolor effects happening here, minus the dribble. No dribble on this one. I'm trying to see. Okay. So this one is minus the dribble. So again, quite a few prints. We have 21 in total. Again, the large ones. Once you print them out large, I think that they look super cool. I mean, they look super cool in any size, but I love large things. That's just me. That's just me. And then here's that one with the watercolor sky and the birds on the branches and the doilies on the side. And then the large one. So I think that if you was to put this into a book, I think you will make a hell of an interesting book. That's for sure. I think it would definitely be really, really colorful and unique. So here we have another one. This is more of a nighttime scene. Again, some vintage kind of paper in the background. We have what looks like watermarks. We have some stars, some dark stars, some bright stars. We have some branches here happening. And she's talking to the lady that the queen was looking for because she wanted to go off with her head. So this is what this one looks like. And I'm working on actually making kits where you can actually cut the stuff apart and do different things with them with like cut aparts. I'm working on that. That's gonna take me a little bit of time, but I am working on that so that I can make a solid kit. Right now, I'm making pages that you can use in different projects, but I'm looking to. This is why I call them paper packs as opposed to a kit because they're individual pages, and more or less these individual pages you can use them as a collective unit or you can choose to use them individually. It's completely up to you. I think that they will look beautiful in any kind of project, especially some mixed media, because a lot of the work is already kind of done. You just have to add a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, and you're good to go. Yes, and that's kind of like um, where I'm going with this whole thing is I wanted to have something that was a little bit more me because I download digital papers all the time. Like I did a couple of books that I've downloaded digital papers all the time, and I've used. And there's a lot of amazing, super talented, designers that design all these kinds of papers. I've seen a lot of beautiful ones, Dreams, etc., to name one. Um, Beautiful, beautiful papers. But I wanted to try, and my daughter's really good at this because that's what she does. She does the digital design. That's her natural incline. I'm hands on. No, she'd be with her tablet, her Wacom or whatever the thing is called, and she'd be drawing all kinds of stuff. So she showed me how to do it because I have the program. I just didn't know how to use it. I'm like, I need you to tell me where do I click? Where do I click? She showed me a few times. I kind of absorbed that, and off I went. So this one has Bambi. She's not really Bambi, but I'm gonna call her Bambi. She found Bambi. So on this one we have some watercolor effects in the background, like like when you scrape acrylic paint on a board, some of that grunginess. So it's got some of that watercolor grunge in the background. We have some doilies here on the side, again with the birds and the perched up on the tree there. And she's kind of like waiting for somebody, I don't know who. And she's got a deer with her, so she's not alone. I know. I'm just all over the place. I really am, and I think it goes with my nature, like my mixed media nature. When I create, I'm like I grab stuff from everywhere. I'm literally all over the place when I create my mixed media art, and I think I'm like that. I think it applies to me and everything. I used to think it was just for that, but no, I'm starting to think I'm really like that for everything else as well. Because even when I'm doing these papers, I'm like all over the place. I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going there, I'm going there. I'm like grabbing a whole bunch of different stuff, and putting them down on the paper. Oh, on this one, yes. Yes, it has the chicken wire. Girl, your stuff is on HD. You're HD over there. I have it in my face. I didn't even notice that. So on this one, there's a lot going on. I added the Cheshire cat. I think that's how you say it. Um, I added the queen in here. So the Queen of Hearts is in there. I think I got almost all the characters, if I'm not mistaken. I think I got them all, almost all. Well, maybe not all the characters. There's a whole bunch that I'm missing, especially like the whole beach theme where you have, all the other animals. I didn't put those really in here like that. I do have them. I just didn't put them. So there are way more images, way more stuff, Alice in Wonderland related that I didn't, print out. I did this kit here because it was the one that to me kind of matched somehow. They all lended themselves to the next page. So this is why this is the one that I have here. Yes, I have to. And the thing is that I'm somewhat of an disorganized person because my stuff needs to be in a certain kind of place. I need to be able to like I need to know where my stuff is at so that I can just grab, 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 grab. Otherwise I'm going nuts. So this one has again watercolors. It also's got paint splatters. It's got what you would call it when you wisp the brush. So it's got like speckling. It's got like little dribbles. We have Alice with her long neck here, and that's when she want to cut it off because it's longer than hers, and she can't have that because she got no neck. So she's the queen. If she got no neck, nobody can have a neck. And then I added the little trail of words here. They kind of, grow to really, really small in the center. This one is solid watercolor. And I kept this one rather simple. So we have Alice holding here the flamingo that she's about to play with. We have some of the roses. They're not red, they're black, but it's okay. You guys get the idea. The whole background is in watercolor. And then we have the Mad Hatter kind of running in the background because he knows, yo, this chick is crazy. She about to go off with her head. Let me get out of here real quick before they throw me in the mob with her. So he's off running. And she's looking at him like, hey, where you going? Do you know something I don't know? Like, am I safe here? And so, she's like, what the heck? I haven't had no coffee today. I need coffee. I need coffee so bad. I need my oldest to wake up before she go to work and get me some coffee. So, all watercoloring from top to bottom. And then, that's that. So this is a nighttime scene. And again, now we see where he was running off to. So it's kind of like a continuation from that. So he's out. He's like, I gotta go. The queen's on the loose. She chopping heads. I can't put my hat on my shoulders. I need this noggin to put this head on because otherwise it's not gonna work. Then my hat gonna be falling all over the place. And so I need my hat. I need my head. It's time to go. So he's running. He's running so fast. He went straight into the night. He didn't even notice. So we have some birds here. A little bit simpler with the birds here. We have some stars happening in the background and this really cute kind of sketchy image of the Mad Hatter. And the last one is this one right here, which again, watercolor, painting the roses red. So this is the cards, the card soldiers or whatever they call them. And they're at the tree looking at this thing like, damn, man, we messed up. She gonna kill us. We didn't make the roses red. So now they're like scrounging, trying to paint these roses red. And the story starts to kind of begin. So I added a little snippet of the little chapter, the first chapter there, again with some red roses. I added this really sketchy kind of thing here because I figured it kind of captures that image right there. And it's got like this really cool kind of heart shape. This is a very sketchy kind of image there. So I added that and then some of the red. Well, I call it red, but it's more like a burgundy. That's what it's going to print. It's going to print like a burgundy-ish kind of color on your printer. So if it doesn't print red, it's not that your printer's messed up. It's just that it's burgundy. It's not red. Okay. So, yes, these are, and it's quite a few. I mean, it's quite a lot. If you print them all out, you'll definitely have a lot of material to work with. But again, you don't have to work with them in full sheets if you don't want to. You can work with them in halves. You just have to make sure that you orient your paper correctly so that it's facing the direction that you want it to face. If you're not sure of your sizes, make sure that you Google, inches to pixel ratios so that you input the correct amount of pixels or the correct amount, size-wise, depending on how your printer works, so that you print out the right size. And now, without further ado, we're going to start We're gonna start working on mixed media. Okay, I have papers here. I was playing with earlier. Let me put that up there. So this clipboard is really glossy. This was gifted to me by Isabel. Um, so I have to cover this up before I can even start to do anything on it. So the first thing I'm gonna do is start covering it up with some of this paper that I have here. And I'm just gonna kind of start going right into it. And let's see how this starts to unfold, because that's as far as I got. Was I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. That's as far as I got. So hopefully this will work well. And I'm sorry if there's a glare. I'm gonna try to get that glare out of there right now. I'm gonna glue up there first. So we're just gonna kind of paper piece this whole thing together. And I probably should have, you know what? Let me do that instead. I'm just gonna double side tape this thing, because I might as well make my life a little easier while I can. Why not? That'll make my life a lot easier. And then I could just get to the fun stuff. Annie, you getting me, cappuccino? What you mean, no? When you wanted to come out, I didn't say no. I said, yes, let there be life. What you mean, no? Hey, Deb, how are you, love? I was just sharing with everyone my Alice in Wonderland new digital papers that I created. These are these are the large prints, but I printed them out in smaller scale. I don't know if you're able to rewind on a live stream, but if you want to check what they are, they're gonna be. I went through all of them in the beginning of the video. There's 21 designs in the digital paper pack. Oh, you do? Yeah. Yes. I've been coughing since the beginning of the year, and Tanya keeps yelling at me to go to the doctor, but I say no. I'm just kidding. Oh, yes. I'm still working on mine too. I'm still working on mine. I'm not 100% done yet. I'm almost done. I'm like at a good 90%. I just have to do like the finishing touches. I just have this nagging little cough that just won't go all the way away. And it's not persistent. It's just kind of like, I guess my throat is drier now for some reason, and then it just makes me kind of cough. Like I started the year with a really, really bad cold, and ever since then my throat's just been really, really dry. Yeah, definitely. And living in the city with this heat be crazy sometimes. And I got Sasson trying to sleep with the air conditioner on. I'm like, boy, stop playing. Stop playing with me. Okay, I need one more piece of tape will do it. So I'm just gonna go into this and add some of these papers in here. I'll probably end up gluing and decoupaging some other parts of it, but I just want to get this in. So I'm just gonna go into this and add this dictionary paper. And look at I haven't shared this because I'm like, look at this mama jamma. I bought this from GT Designs. I think her name is here on YouTube. She also has an Instagram. She sells like stuff for junk journals and stuff like that. Look at this dictionary, you guys. It's falling apart. And yes, I bought it. Look how huge this thing is. Oh my god, I love it. Look how humongous. This thing is huge. Let me see my ruler. You guys, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's about 18 inches when you open it up, give or take. Right? 18 inches? Yeah, about 18 inches. It's humongous for all of my lab book needs. Yes. I know you waiting, girl. It'll happen. It'll happen one day, one day. One day, one day. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Now, let's see. I'm gonna put some tape right here. On that side and on this side, because they don't got none. No, that's not the dictionary that my kids use. You crazy? No, I bought that dictionary for making books. For making books. And I figure one of those is more than enough material for me to have me making books for quite some time. So as opposed to me having 15,000 gazillion different books to do the junk journal stuff, I'll just buy that one and then I'll print whatever else I need to embellish it and add the different little things, as opposed to just having a whole bunch of different books laying around. Any info on that? Yes. I can't help it, you guys. I can't help it. I'm just running out of room quickly, is what I'm noticing though. I'm running out of room really, 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 really quick. Really, 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 really quick. I'm running out of room. Let's see. I'm vibrating. Joann's is having a 3 days only President Doorbuster sale. Run, everybody, run. Oh, Lord have mercy. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna do that. I'll trim this stuff off the end. This is one of those jot clipboards from Dollar Tree. Okay, what the heck? My phone keeps going off. I don't know that number. Yeah, I had to do a whole total flipperoo in my room. Like I switched everything, and now we got we got more space. I organized everything a lot better because our room is really really huge. So I ended up taking a little spot here in the corner for my craft stuff because our room is really nice. It's a really nice size. But between him crafting, me crafting, it just got crazy. Oh. I have a long time I haven't gone to a good one. I have one here, a pretty big one too. It's a little far from where I am. It's not that far. It's like a good maybe 20 minutes in car, which is kind of close. Um, it's like 20, 30 minutes in a car, give or take. But I have a long time I don't go there, and I know I see a whole bunch of people getting some awesome stuff. I gotta try that. I gotta try going there. So I know they be having a whole bunch of stuff that you normally don't get anywhere else. I mean, you could get other places, but you get it for cheaper. And Sasson is agreeing with me. He's like, of course, of course. All right, so let's see here. Here you are. So I'm just gluing down these edges to this paper. I'm gonna add another section. And we have yard sales here, but for me, they're not they don't really have I don't really find stuff that I would use like for arts and crafts and stuff like that. They don't have those kinds of yard sales here. I kind of want these edges to be kind of torn. So that it catches the distress ink when I put it on. But I absolutely fell in love with that book when I saw it. I must have saw her video like I don't even know how many times, because she does she sells like all that stuff for like junk journal making and stuff like that. I haven't got as far as doing a whole junk journal thing. It's something that I want to try, but not yet. I'm not ready for that yet. That thing is so huge. I was like, you know how many books I could make? I told someone, I was like, you know how many books I could make? When the box arrived, he was like, what the heck did you buy? This thing is so heavy. I was like, I bought a whole bunch of stuff. And when he opened the box, there was only one book inside. He was like, what the heck? I was like, what the heck? So I'm adding all these little bits and pieces of paper. Plus, I like the fact that the paper is kind of thick, because I have another dictionary that is a little bit on the larger side, but the paper is really thin. It's got really thin paper. It's got like Bible paper, like really, really thin and translucent. I have a Salvation Army too here. My Salvation Army sucks. Then people think they Macy's, man. I get so mad at the Salvation Army. It's like they figured out they were a business. And they had to make, that they could make oodles of money, and now that's what they're doing. I hate the fact that you go in there and if they know that something is a brand name, they'll charge you up the yin yang. It's like, come on, you're not supposed to care about brand. You're people of God. You're supposed to just care about clothing the people that don't have, and providing a cheap outlet for the people that can't afford to go expensive. Don't be sneaky. But they sneaky. Who? Who, Tanya? Inquiring minds want to know. Who you talk about? Who you talk about, Willis? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Well, yeah, you do that. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, that's freaking nice. You're such an awesome person in the whole wide world. I'm so lucky. Yes. I stopped going to them because I just didn't like the shadiness of it all. Like, what the heck? All right, I think that's enough of me adding paper. Let's see what else we can add on here. I'm gonna go and gesso, give it a quick clear coat of gesso, just so that I can seal up all those papers. I'm gonna grab my beautifully cleaned Finnabair silicone brush thingamabob. I go to one that I think is ran by a Lutheran church, if I'm not mistaken. That's the one that I always say the old lady. I'm going to the old lady. I support that one a lot. Even though sometimes their prices can be a little iffy too, but they're more humble about it, I guess. This is the way to say it. So while this dries, I'm gonna start gathering some things and picking out. Um, well, you guys will help me pick out which is the image that I should use for this, for this little canvas thing. Not